I just didn't catch her, man.
Wow, I literally do not care in the slightest.
Hey guys, didn't think you'd start the party without me, did you?
I thought we weren't inviting Amazing Fantasy.
My bad.
Great, now we're gonna have to hear another one of his 60s stories.
That reminds me of this story. The year was 1962. Oh my god.
What's Spider-1V here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. This is a figure of Spider-Man as he first appeared in his very first ever comic book debut back in Amazing Fantasy number 15 back in 1962. I think I said back way too many times in that sentence. But yeah, I was highly anticipating this figure when all those Spidey figures were like shown. The cell shaded one, the Amazing Friends 3-pack, the Renew Your Vows 2-pack. I think that's all of them. All of those were announced. This one was the one that I was most excited for, and I'll explain why very quickly. Usually I like to explain the source material and my thoughts on it, but I've never read Amazing Fantasy because I don't really read the comics. But like a lot of the classic comic designs strike out at me, and I want figures of them, like Iron Man, Zemo, Spider-Man. And I really love this comic design because I really like the very different Spidey suits. I love the red and black. I personally prefer the red and black look as opposed to, like, the red and blue look. I think red and black clash really well together, and I think it overall makes the design just look cooler. And also, I'm a huge fan of when the spider legs are pointing down. Oh, more Spider-Men need to do that. Like, every Spider-Man, especially every modern Spider-Man, has the legs pointing up. But man, when like those top two legs are pointing down, I just love it so much. I made an OC Spidey design, and I had them legs pointing down because, I just love it so much. Sucks that the MCU design kind of scrapped that look, because that would have been a cool look to have. But yeah, and I was like, this figure just looks great, because I was wanting a good comic Spidey the whole time. That there's literally only that one that from the retro series that was mad expensive. But now he's here, he's great, and we'll get into him. I tried to get him into the pose on the box, best of my abilities, and as you can see, it's a very stupid pose. Speaking of the box, let's talk about that, because this is a windowless package, as you can see. I think this was the very first wave of windowless package, too. Totally ignore the fact that I'm getting Spidey in a normal stance for something I'm about to do. But yeah, windowless package. It's a slightly smaller box from original Marvel Legends. Bringing in the box of my previous review, the Marvel Legends She-Hulk, go check that out. You can definitely see boxes have gotten a bit smaller. And it doesn't feel durable at all. I feel like I could just take my nail right through this, but it is what it is. On the front, you got this horrific 3D render. You can tell it's 3D render because the articulation joint just disappears. Marvel Amazing Fantasy. Warning, choking stuff. You can choke on it. Hasbro Amazing Fantasy, $32. He a pricey one, but he's kind of worth it. He's great, and he has a lot of accessories. Marvel Legends, little Spidey creeping up at the top, kind of looks like MCU Spidey. Spider-Man, 60 amazing years. Then you got a 3D render on the top with Marvel Legends. Also this comic dotted pattern with the original cover in the back. The cover's alright. Like, not the cover, the thing's alright. I think it's a reference to the very first Marvel Legends packaging that Hasbro did, but it's kind of eh. But what I like a lot about this 3D render is that it's actually, I believe, almost the exact same size of the figure, which is really nice. So you know how big the figure is. I don't know how accurate that is all around, but it's neat. Kind of wish it was on the other side though, because I showcase the boxes like that. But you got the nice little comic art on the side, and him carrying, I don't know, Frankenstein. Then on the back, a better 3D render, all his accessories, Amazing Fantasy, Marvel Legends series, Marvel, Attention, and just a bunch of words. Figure and 9 accessories is what it includes. Speaking of those 9 accessories, let's bust them out, shall we? So the first 2 are just the interchangeable hands that the figure has, like the alternate ones of the ones he has already on, which is a fist, then a web shooter. I think he actually has these ones on, but I swapped them because I always have my Spideys with the same thwip hand and the same fist or open hand on each figure because, I have a problem. But the paint's really nice. They Spidey hands. Then he comes with 2 gripping hands to grip a certain accessory he comes with. They're nicely sculpted too. Pretty thin though, so I don't know if you'd be able to get any other accessories in there. And finally, what's a Spidey without some wall crawling hands? And again, painted really well, look really great. Can climb on walls. Then he comes with some interesting accessories. He comes with these web thingies. Web thingies, and they're supposed to go under his arms. But man, these are miserable. Like, he's got these holes, and you're supposed to just tab them in. But, like, half the time, they don't really want to be in, and if they go in, they don't really stay in too well. Like, getting this one in. Like, it looks alright, it's accurate to the comics. But, like, then he just has to have his arms like that in the front, and it's just not even worth it. But at least these stay in. The next 2 are these. These are hot garbage. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but I just cannot seem to get it in his arm and stay in there. And I get it in, and it looks like that, and I don't care. But to an accessory that is actually kind of useful, you get a little web string. I think it's the same one that we've gotten with previous Spideys. Say the Walmart exclusive No Way Home Spidey. And it's what the gripping hand is for. You slide that in the grip, and he can swing away. Probably should actually swap the hands real quick to showcase it. And he does hold it pretty well. He can get Spidey swinging left and right. So yeah, actually pretty good accessory. But now let's talk about the figure itself, because this is a brand new, I think 100% brand new Spidey body with the nice new articulation and pinless joints. And I gotta say, it's great. It's got a few issues though. Getting into that head sculpt though, that is nice. I love the squinting eyes and how subtle the sculpt work is. It's not bulging out like some. Trying to find one that has bulging out eyes. Kind of looking at it, doesn't really have it, but pull out an MCU one, you can see the eyes come out if it would focus, pretty far. But this one's actually pretty, it's basically flat, but you can tell there's a bit of sculpting there. I love the squinting eyes. I mean, I'm a huge fan of those giant eyes. It's what I love on Spideys. It's why I love a certain Spidey here. But I do think the squinting Spidey eyes work really well with this look. And overall, the webbing is painted really well. I gotta say, no complaints here. Coming down to the chest, you got that nice, beautiful Spidey logo. It just looks so friendly. Oh God. Oh Lord, have mercy. There we go. Yeah, can you tell I'm using the worst camera imaginable on the worst phone ever? This pray doesn't get revenge on me for saying that. But yeah, I just love how it's nice, cute, and cuddly and friendly looking. It's not sharp and angular. And I love it. And all the webbing is painted really well. Around the neck too, and on the back. Little Spidey logo. I saw some prototypes that originally had it blue. And I don't know if that's comic accurate or not, but I'm kind of glad they didn't go blue, because I feel like blue would be very striking on this design. You got the webs that go all the way around. Painted really well, even though it's throughout all the joints. Even on the butterfly joints, it still all lines up really great. Then get to the arm. Great sculpt work. Great webbing. Love that the joint comes down and cuts like that along the line of the suit. That's great. Then come down to the fist. And then same thing on this. And I also love how it's not insanely bulky. Because zooming out for a second before we continue talking about this guy. Bringing in a figure we'll be reviewing soon. Black Suit Spidey. You can just see how his muscles are so bulgy. Like, I like the more smoother muscle texture. Like, you can tell he's got ripped abs and a six-pack, but, like, it also looks like he's wearing clothes over it, and it's not so prominent, and that's what I really like. And that's what attracted me to this figure the most over some of the other Spideys, like the Renew Your Vows one. Also, because that's a 2-pack, and I don't really care for the other figure. But, yeah, be careful about the torso, though, because I'm pretty, like, this down is all painted, and I'm pretty sure they painted white underneath it, and then red, because I got a paint chip right there. I colored it with a red marker, but I chipped it, and it was white, and it was very noticeable despite being small. And I'll get to that more whenever I do the articulation, because that's definitely a problem. Then you come down to the thighs, into his feet, some more nice webbing. Oh, Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. Once again, we've dropped the camera, possibly shown my face once again, and probably exposed how much of a horrible setup I have. I have it sitting on Black Series boxes. I know. But yeah, also, interesting thing is that he doesn't have straight black, because, like, bringing in these two, they're straight black. He's got more of, like, a charcoal look. My lighting doesn't do good, because I have, like, an orange and blue lighting, because, you know, I'm broke. But yeah, it still looks nice. And then getting into articulation, he has a hinge up, which hinges really up. You can get him, like, swinging or something like that, which I really like, because this guy has a dumbbell joint, and it sucks. He can barely look up. So yeah, Spideys and Iron Man should have, like, a hinge and stuff, no dumbbells for them. But that Spidey does have stuff that this guy doesn't, so. Head rotates, looks down that far, doesn't really bob. Arm moves out that far. Don't go too far, else you might be scraping that. Rotates. Butterfly joint moves that far forward and decently back. Not the best, but not the worst. Upper arm rotation. Very difficult double jointed elbow. This one likes to move more than this one. And if you don't move this one first, then this one bends all the way, and then that one's, like, impossible to bend. But it does bend up really high, which is nice. Then hinge in and out with the rotation for all of the hands. Then we get to his torso, and it was right out of the box. Number one, right out of the box. I kind of wasn't impressed, but after messing with it for, like, 20 minutes, I fell in love. But I was really disappointed with the torso articulation. Diaphragm joint, you're getting nothing out of that. I am pushing with my might, and it's not moving forward. Moves back a decent amount, but if you move it too far back, you'll, like, expose, like, a hole in the chest. Bobs side to side and rotates clickety. But, like, I was really disappointed with that. And because he's a little bit smaller compared to this guy, because this guy, like, it comes out more, so I think it gives it more articulation. And since he's taller, the ab crunch is bigger. So this ab crunch, it doesn't really move far forward. So it only moves that far forward. Don't try pushing it too hard, because that's why I got the paint chip. And about that far back. So altogether, you can get, like, that much arcing forward and about that much forward. I think I said forward instead of back. Yeah. Quality reviews we be posting here. Kicks about that far forward. Kicks decently back, because Spidey's flat as hell. You know, he don't got the Tom Holland cake. He flat. Sad to break the news to y'all. Does pretty good splits, as you'd hope for a Spidey. Thigh rotates. Nice double jointed knee. Love the pinless look. But sometimes some of the, especially with elbows, I've learned with pinless figures, they're a little tricky sometimes. Then got a boot cut, hinge up, down, and a nice rocker. So he has pretty freaking quackity-quoo articulation, if that makes sense. But yeah, now for some comparisons. We're obviously going to bust out our usuals and then go to some more fun ones. So here he is next to a Black Series, average Black Series scale. Here's the Death Watch Mandalorian. And for an average Voyager class Transformers comparison, here he is next to Siege Shockwave. So, yeah, you can check out a video for this guy on my channel. Most of these guys have videos. That's a lie. Most of them don't. And here he is next to a Jazzwares Master Chief. Let's move him back a bit. And a McFarlane Riddler. Both of these guys have vids too. And of course, can't staple of the channel, get that hair out the way. Here he is next to the MCU Moon Knight. Go check out that video too. Now, let's have some fun with some Spidey comparisons. As you saw in the intro, I have many Spideys. So comparing them to a couple, let's do the Retro Series first. Here he is next to a Retro Series Symbiote Spidey and Retro Series 2099. Hyped, by the way, for that Into the Spider-Verse figures. I know that's like a rough statement because apparently everyone says they look like cheap garbage, but I'm really excited for the 2099. And I really hope we get a 2099 on one of these bodies because he's my favorite looking Spidey. Next to some, I guess you could consider it MCU. Here he is next to Tom Holland's Spidey and this crickety old Andrew Garfield Spidey. Thank God we're getting a new one. I'm scared to even articulate half of his body in fear of breaking it. But yeah, here he is next to another MCU Spidey, the Zombie Hunter Spidey, and Scarlet Spider. Hope we get a new one of him too. The upper body's good, but it'd be nice to have pinless arms, and these legs are trash. Here he is next to my previous review, She-Hulk, and my next review, Comic Zemo. Oh, spicy one. And finally, here he is next to my only other comic Spidey, the Ultimate Spider-Man one I got back in 2016. His arm broke off because of the god-awful shoulder articulation, but I still love him and I sticky tacked it on. Have a lot of special fond memories with this one. Sad it broke, but you know what? He's got a good replacement. Even though they are very different. This is very modern. This is very old. He probably, says Yas Queen and that's lit. He probably beats his wife. I don't know. What was it like in the 60s? Leave a comment if you know. I just imagine him talking with like one of those really old stereotypical accents, like, "Hey, Sonny, you better not steal that kid's taco or I'll knock you, son." And then he just punches the guy and it says, "Bam! Pow! Wham!" Yeah, it's my headcanon for Amazing Fantasy Spidey. Wonder if he's gonna be in the Into the Spider-Verse, since literally every Spider-Man's in it. So, was that a voice crack? I don't know. So, what are my thoughts on this Spidey? Buy it. It's $32. But it's a well-deserved $32. This figure's great. He's got all the accessories you'd want for a Spider-Man. Hands to grab stuff, hands to climb, hands to punch, and hands to, And he comes with a web accessory, and he comes with those underarm accessories, which aren't that great, but you know what? I don't care. Because I'm not going to use them, but, if you could work them well, you could probably get a cool look for them. And overall, he feels great. He's one of those modern Marvel legends that it just feels amazing. And I think they've already made 3 different Spideys on this body. Because I'm pretty sure Cell Shaded and Amazing Friends both all use this body. So they're already milking it. And I'm kind of glad they are because it's a really good body. Hopefully we see a Miles or a 2099 or a Scarlet Spider on this body. Because it's great. Love this Spidey. Definitely glad I picked him up. Well worth the money. He's really great. If you don't have a comic Spidey and you want a comic Spidey, get this one. Love him so much. And if you're willing to get that, Renew Your Vows one for just a generic Spidey, that one would probably be the best because it has toe articulation. And it has this one's body, which has a little bit better articulation, but without but new legs and arms. But still, this one's great. Love him so much. Highly recommend it. Subscribe. Check out my previous reviews. We're blasting through some MCU waves. We've done Love and Thunder. We've done a lot. Mostly do Marvel. We slide back and forth on other things. Check out my Instagram, Moon Knight XO, where I be posting mostly weekend reels, but the occasional Marvel theory post and stuff like that, and just some fun stuff with the figures and everything. And you can check out some and get a little sneak peeks for what might be upcoming reviews. So yeah, that's it. Hope you have a luxurious day and a luxurious Christmas if you don't see any of my later videos before Christmas. So have a nice day, and oh, I'm trying. Peace out. I don't know what this pose is.